What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. Um, this is Love and Marriage Huntsville. My bad. Season 5, episode 3. I guess we're in. Child, we still at this daggone couples retreat. We finally going home. Lois and Tiffany have left. They left. They ain't say goodbye to nobody. They just crept up out of town. But what we find out is that Tiffany did have a speaking engagement down into Birmingham, and she had to be there by a certain time. So I guess they probably left at an early morning. Maybe they didn't want to wake nobody up. But secretly, I'm sure they were both very happy that they got up out of there because they was over it, okay? And I think Dr. Francis was over them. We saw the goodbyes, and, Dr. Francis appreciated, the fact that they came and got a chance to know everybody a little bit better. Letitia said even though Tiffany and her husband left early, they did get a chance to get to know each other and at least, clear the air about what happened last season when they was down to Vegas and all that good stuff. Child, Maurice still don't get it. He say he get it, but he don't get it. Maurice still wants sex every 5 minutes, child. I don't know. But it was a good moment, and they all went home. Okay. Then we see Kimmy, Letitia, and Destiny hanging out. We found out Destiny got a man, but she ain't ready to bring him around the group, even though later on we find out that her man live out of town, and that's why she ain't brought him around the group. Her man name is Moses, and they've known each other for like 13 years, so they've known each other for a long time, and they're both divorced. And when he found out she was divorced, he was like, I can't let you go this time. I can't lose you. And so they've been dating long distance, but they seem like they in a good place. I mean, she's saying I love you and everything, so I said okay. Okay. They're getting ready to go out to lunch, but they're, shopping around. Look like a little boutique store. Look like a little Cracker Barrel. I mean, they weren't at the Cracker Barrel, but like the Cracker Barrel store where they have like a lot of little odds and ends, little country stuff here and there kind of things. That's the kind of store they were in. That's the kind of store I would probably spend a lot of money in on a bunch of stuff that I probably ain't never going to use. I'd be like, I could do this. I could do that. This is cute. That's cute. And it would probably, I would end up giving it to Goodwill in like 4 years because it would just sit somewhere in my house. Moving on. I have a lot of good ideas that they be ideas. So, Kimmy is letting them, they're talking about how the couples retreat went. Because Destiny actually had the nerve to have an attitude that she didn't get invited. Even after they kept trying to explain to her why she ain't get invited to a couples retreat. Because you're not a couple. And we didn't even know you had a boyfriend. So, girl. Anyway. So, we find out that Kimmy lets them know what Mel said to her when they went out to lunch and about Melnika. And Destiny was like, yeah, I know her, because they all went to high school together. Her, Martell, Melnika, and all of that. And she was like, yeah, I know her. We went to high school together. And Kimmy proceeds to, repeat to them what Mel said about the whole, she was planning their wedding, but then she felt like Martell was cheating on Mel, so then she quit, like the week before the wedding, and, and that Mel, suspects that they're actually messing around now. Now, Destiny's thing is, I've never known that to be the case with Melnika. Like, I've never known Melnika to be in any type of a relationship with Martell. Like, that's not even been like a rumor. So she said, I don't believe that. As far as what happened back, during the wedding, I don't know nothing about that. But as far as right now, like, yeah, no. And I've never heard anything about them being in any type of relationship. And she said, I really just don't give nothing that Mel say a whole lot of credence. And why are we talking about it anyway? Like, for somebody that don't care, why you talking about it, girl? Why you talking about it? So, then they kind of threw a little, they were talking about NS wine and, because there was some wine in the store. And, they were talking about that and, the whole line. I think that's how they got to talking about Melody and Martell to begin with. It was sort of wine, and they kind of were talking about that. But that was pretty much all that was in that scene. They talked, like I said, they talked about the couples retreat and Tiffany and Lewis and all that good stuff. We see Melody meeting up with Martell to talk about the things that Miss Wanda's been saying online. Allegedly, Miss Wanda was online ain't allegedly, she did it, child. Questioning the paternity of Melody's youngest baby. And they're upset about it, right? And they're trying to figure out like basically how to handle it. And Martell was like, well, listen, clearly I don't know how to keep my cool when it comes to Miss Wanda, and I probably need to just not, I'm gonna let you handle it. And Mel was like, let me handle it. Give me her number, I'll call her, or the next time I see her, we'll have to have a conversation about it. Now, it ain't a whole lot in this episode, so let me be petty. Melody showed up to that house, and while the kids done told on her, the kids talking about something, you live here too. She was like, what you mean? I never been here before. This is the first time I've been to Martell house. But I feel like that, whatever house that is, I feel like that might be one of their like rental properties, maybe their first house, they start a house, they used to live there kind of house. I don't know. But the kids was acting, child, it was funny to me, because I said, kids say things, it don't always mean it's true, but I thought it was funny that the baby was like, you live here, you lived here, or something like that. And Melody was like, what? It's my first time here. I was like, because the rumor was that Martell was living with his mama, but Martell might be living in like some old rental property that they own, or one of the houses that they owned, or something, child. I don't know. But neither here nor there. That's just me being petty, because it really ain't a whole lot with this episode, okay? It's just me being petty. But, Martell was like, him and Mela in a better space, and the fact that they can even sit down and have this conversation about what happened and be able to basically figure out the best way to handle it moving forward, which, of course, we know is going to lead up to the fight that happens on next week's episode. And then Melody said, well, I'm taking the kids to Destin, Florida, and if you want to come down for a couple of days, that would be cool, which, of course, leads us to that live that got leaked out that Mel and Martell were on vacation together. Now, I never believed that they were on vacation together, like they were trying to work things out. I didn't. But I guess that was their way of explaining how that happened and why Martell was even there. Like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this scene was filmed after the fight to try to explain things that came out on social media and explain the fight. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I really wouldn't be. But I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of those, oh, shoot, we got to go back and film this scene to try to explain how things happened the way they happened down to the fight, and why y'all was on vacation together, okay? But anyway, but it was a good, they're in a good space. They were in a good space. At least they were, because we know they far from that now, child. We know they are far from that space now, but they were in a good space, okay? The guys go play pool, and basically, again, this whole conversation was them rehashing the couples retreat and what they learned from it and what they got out of it. Marcel, he said, when we did the exercise of us running with the string, we were the only ones, not only did we walk, but we were able to run. And we were really the only couple that was able to do it. And what, he said, Dr. Francis said that in all the years of him doing that exercise, he's never seen a couple do that before. And he said, so what that said to us was, what we do, the way we do this marriage thing might be unorthodox to other people, but it works for us. And we're running. You know what I mean? Like, we're making it happen. Of course, Lewis didn't get nothing out of it, because Lewis said that he felt like, Dr. Francis walked in the door with preconceived notions about their marriage, and he really didn't respect nothing that Dr. Francis said. So therefore, he couldn't really take anything he said to heart, because he didn't respect none of what he said. He said, if anything, it brought me and Tiffany closer, because, it brought us closer in our dislike for what Dr. Francis has said. And of course, Marceau was loving it. Marceau was enjoying and loving every minute of it, because, in his mind, he just getting a taste of his own medicine. Like, you was trying to Dr. Francis us last year, and now it don't feel so good, when the rabbit got the gun. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? Martell is there talking about the fact that, yes, he's single now, but he really wants to be married again. He wants to get married again. I mean, he ain't talking about right now. Sorry, Coleslaw. But eventually one day he is looking, to get married again. So, and Maurice still don't get it, child. I don't care what Maurice said about what he understood, child. He didn't understand nothing. Because all he kept hearing was trying to figure out how he can get sex as much as he wanted, child. I don't think he heard nothing that Dr. Francis said or Kimmy said. And y'all know I always like Maurice. And Kimmy and Maurice have always been my favorites on this show. But baby, Maurice, right now, this ain't a good look for you, bruh. This ain't a good look for you, bruh. And I feel like everything at that retreat went over your head. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Um, we see Martell going down to a black-owned wine shop to talk to them about getting his wine on the shelves, and what he said was, I mean, the lady liked it. I'm sorry, I got brain fart. The lady, she tasted the wine and she liked it and agreed that that they're going to sell the wine in their store, and so that was a nice thing because it was a black owned and all that good stuff. Well, he invited Destiny to show up because he needed, he wanted her support. So Destiny shows up late, but she shows up. And Martell knows about the boyfriend. So this lets you know that Martell and Destiny really are friends, and they talk offline. Because he knew about the boyfriend, and he was like, so you gonna, when you gonna bring him around, or, you still trying to protect him, you ain't ready to bring him around the crew yet. And she was like, I mean, when it's time, it's time, when I feel like it's time. But she lets him know that she's relaunching Madani. She's reopening Madani, that she's in a better position than she was financially and everything. That she can keep the store open 6 days a week. She's hired staff and everything is good. That's the other thing that she was talking to the ladies about, because they were like, well, are you inviting, can we invite Mel? And, she hemmed and hawed. Like, she ain't come right out and give a hard no, but she wasn't like, oh yeah, that'd be great. She was like, the people who need to come are invited. The people who need to be there have an invitation. You know what I mean? So it was like, and she did the same thing with Martell. Martell was like, so you inviting Mel? And she was like, who? So it's clear that she probably really don't want Mel to come, but I feel like she probably not going to have much of a choice to invite Mel. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the show, and, Miss Wanda doing the food and all that good stuff. But then she lets Martell know about what was said about Melnika, the whole thing about what Mel said about Melnika and the whole wedding thing. And Martell was like, first of all, when we were getting married, like, I was faithful. Like, I wasn't out here doing nothing. I wasn't running around, so I don't even know where that's coming from. And that was 13 years ago. Like, why are we bringing that up? Second of all, I'm not, Melnika is married. Like, we ain't got nothing going on. Like, and why is she worried about it? He said, we just got to a good place, and I feel like here she go again poking the bear. He was like, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to fall for the bait. I'm not going to go down that road with her. I'm going to leave it where it is. Which, of course, all of this sets us up for next week. For the whole situation next week with the Madani reopening, Miss Wanda being outside selling her food, and what we know ends up happening, which is the fight. That was pretty much the episode. Like I said, it wasn't really a whole lot there. They just kind of setting us up for next week, I feel like. But anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.